Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma Reforger, and in this video I want to show you how to use the feedback tracker for this amazing game. And so if you found a bug in the game, or something that you think is wrong, or you got a suggestion for improving the game or changing something, Bohemia Interactive, the devs and publishers behind Reforger and Arma 3 and DayZ, are really receptive to these things and have an official way of you telling them about this sort of stuff. So I'm going to show you kind of how to do it. Now, the example I'm going to do now, actually live, is a problem with the radial menu when you use a gamepad in the Game Master, or if you just use the radial menu. And what happens is, what should happen is that with the radial menu, when you go round using your right stick after you've activated it by holding X, the standard way of selecting something in this game is by pressing X or A, but if you look around the screen you'll see there's nothing to do that. And for this, and I think this is the only part of the game that uses this, you actually use the right trigger. So I want to tell them about this. And although you can just use text, what I've actually done in this case is I've actually recorded a little video as well to really kind of show them where it is. So let's just go to the video here. Now, you don't have to do this, you don't have to record a video, but where you do need to go is to the Arma Reforger feedback tracker and create an account, and then post your bug or your issue or your suggestion in the correct place with some nice professional language is what you want to do. So when you go to the feedback tracker, there's lots of different projects you can do. So I happen to be in Arma Reforger Xbox, but what I'll do is I'll post links to Arma Reforger Xbox, and where do we want to go? So feedback tracker, and we also have Arma Reforger, normal Arma Reforger as well. So I'll post links to both. Now, because this affects gamepad, I'm going to put it in the Arma Reforger one, and once you've created an account, we can go, so new Arma Reforger Xbox bug report. So I can click on here, and now we can do our title. So this can be where things get a little bit difficult to do, because often you're trying to describe quite complicated things. So the title of this one will be missing screen tool tip, or incorrect key binding when using gamepad radial menu. So that's basically the problem. So what's the description? So let's describe the problem. When you use the radial menu for gamepad in, now I've tested this in Game Master. Actually, I haven't tested it in any other modes yet, but I've tested it on Xbox and PC. So when you use the radio menu for gamepad in Game Master, you control which function is highlighted with your right stick, but it's not stated on if I can spell correctly, stated on the screen that to select your function you press the right trigger on your gamepad. I think this is the only time that right trigger is used in this way, so this will cause confusion to gamepad players. I've tested this on Xbox and PC Game Master mode. It's And whenever you come across a problem, or you've got a bug, or you've got a suggestion, I think it's always nice to be constructive, obviously, and be professional, but also maybe suggest a solution or a number of solutions as well. So you're saying, look, this is the problem. You know, I'm a game player, and in my case, for example, I play most of my games with a gamepad on Xbox or on PC, but I use a gamepad. And you've got to remember that with lots of these devs, if they're just on computers all the time using gamepad and mouse, using their keyboard and mouse, they won't have the same perspective that I have. So they may well appreciate the sort of things that you say and the ideas that you have, because they might not have thought about them. So I'm going to put, it's probably best just to add an on-screen tool tip that says press RT to select. Rather than change the stick function to the left stick and change the select function to X or A buttons. Okay, so let's just do that. Because in this particular case, what could happen is that they could say, oh, that's great. Okay, so right, we don't really use right trigger as enter in Reforger. So I tell you what, we'll change it from right trigger to X. But then the problem would be, if we go back to the game, if we go, what's going on here? Oh, I'm in the wrong bit, actually, this way. If we go back to the game, if they decided to, so I bring up the context menu, if they decided to keep right stick as the way that you highlight the bit that you want, and then you had to change it to A, that would mean you'd have to take your finger off the right stick, which would mean that you would deselect it. So you'd have to use your left thumb on the right stick and then use your right thumb for X or A, and clearly that doesn't work. The way that they have it working with, you know, right thumb on right stick and then right trigger works really well. It's just there's nothing on the screen that that tells you that that's what it is. And as this isn't used in other parts of the game, I don't think ever, you know, it's really difficult to guess that. So there we go. So let's just go over that. So look at the top. Missing tool, screen tooltip, or incorrect key modding when using gamepad radial menu. When you use the radial menu for gamepad and Game Master, you control which function is highlighted with your right stick, but it's not stated on the screen that you select your function. That to select your function, you press the right trigger on your gamepad. I think this is the only time that right trigger is used in this way, so it will cause confusion to gamepad players. I've tested this on Xbox and PC Game Master mode. It's probably best to just add an on-screen tooltip that says press RT to select, rather than chat. In fact, let me just double check. Is it called RT? Is it called RT? Pretty sure it's called RT on the Xbox. Rather than change the stick function to the left stick and change the select function to X or A. And then, always good. Thanks, Rob. So I have also got this video that I'm going to add. Here's a video showing it in action, like that. So now, where is it? It's this one, so we can copy that. Now, you don't have to do videos. It's just the fact that I'm a YouTuber and I can make videos quickly that I do that. So there we go. So severity. It's a feature, is it? It's a feature, I think. I don't bother putting in steps to reproduce because I've told them all of this up there. Additional information, operating system. So create new task. Oh, there you go. And that will have then created that. Let's just make sure that YouTube link works. Hi, Arma Reforger devs. First off, so that's there. There we go. So that will have now gone. I'm recording this on a Sunday morning here in the UK. So I doubt there'll be anybody in the office who's going to look at this. But the guy who looks after all this will look at what you've done, and then he or she will then move this bit of feedback into like appending or awaiting internal testing or or maybe it's a fixed waiting update, or they might ignore it. I mean, that's always going to happen, isn't it? But generally they'll take that into account, or they may move it into a different thing and say, actually, you've got this in the Xbox part of the feedback tracker. Please, they might move it into the PC bit or something like that, or they might change it from, say, the fact that you think it's maybe trivial, and they might think, actually, this is quite important, and change it that way. So anyway, the really cool thing about doing this is that you're becoming part of the dev team for Arma Reforger. You're helping towards the release of Arma 4, and in this case, Arma 4 on console. So I really like doing this. Now remember, the things that you suggest, especially if they're feature requests or gameplay changes, they might not come along, they might not happen, but you never know, they might. But these bug reports really do help, because as I say, the more people that can help reporting things like this, especially things like this, that it's not really a bug, it's just something that's been missed, that unless there's a dev or someone in the QA team who's using a gamepad to do all this stuff, they may well have missed it. Anyway, that's enough of my waffling. Really take advantage of the fact that there is an official feedback tracker for Arma Reforger for Xbox and PC, and hopefully PlayStation when it comes out, and report these things. But remember, keep it professional, keep it constructive, and when you've written what you've written, reread it to make sure it's clear and it makes sense. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully that's helpful. If it is, hit like if you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.